This last weekend being Thursday, October 6, 2011, my wife and I took a trip to the Hyatt Regency, a very posh hotel in the heart of downtown Houston. We came for the Texas Free Thought Convention along with several hundred other people. The turnout was tremendous. It was co-sponsored by the Atheists Alliance of America, but there were people there from all over the world. It was interesting seeing so many familiar YouTubers at such a lofty venue. We arrived to find the bar full of famous atheists. So we engaged in a bit of sophisticated social networking and met several interesting and important people. Professor Stink, you mentioned hope when you were talking about global warming, and when I've had thousands of arguments with creationists over the years, and when they deny evolution, it's because they think it's a denial of God, and they think that they're going to lose their purpose, and that this is a genuine fear for them. It's not for me. My life never had a meaning, and I'm okay with that. But when we talk about global warming, that's real. And if I ever wanted to deny reality and be able to wish it away, that would be the subject that would cause me to do that, because that's serious. And it's the answers, the resolutions involved in that require answers that nobody likes. And it goes against the teachings of so many of the mainstream religions, you know, procreation, dominate the planet, subdue, and chew up all the natural resources, like Ann Coulter said, you know, with the SUV and the wet bar, and that's the biblical way. How do you maintain hope when you're dealing with these answers and this problem with global warming?
Well, I still have hope that religion is fading. I mean, if it's still powerful in this country, there's some signs that it's starting to fade, especially among young people. But I look at what's going on in Europe, and I see religion virtually disappearing, and that's what I have hopes for in this country. I think that this country, in 30 years, maybe it'll fade. After I'm dead, that it'll be more like Europe. I'm just holding my breath to that, but I think it's going to happen.
Okay, well, I can see hoping for that, yes. Thank you, sir. Okay. That was a great answer. We had lunch with Tom Melchiori, editor of Secular World magazine, and we had dinner with AronRa, author of The God Virus. We even dined at the Spindletop, the rotating restaurant on the roof overlooking the city. There we were joined by fellow YouTubers Rabbit8, greetings, the occasionally controversial Thunderfoot, and my dear friend Healthy Addict.
Suck it, Aaron.
Oh, gosh, she's rude right out of the gate. The view from the Spindletop was very nice, but don't go if you're hungry. I ordered a shrimp platter, but it only had 2 shrimp on it. Thunderfoot's steak was smaller than the blade of the knife meant to cut it.
When you get a knife like this, you have to worry about the steak, you know.
This was the first time Thunder and I had ever met, and we had a live audience for the Magic Sandwich Show, where we hoped we would do some good. Did that help you at all?
It helped me.
Okay.
It helped me. I'm not sure it helps the believers.
I don't know what will help the believers.
I agree.
I sometimes wonder if religion can be cured with Thorazine.
Some little bits, yeah.
Okay, did you have anything else?
Nope.
Okay, I have another hand raised, so thank you.
Actually, I've got a point I mean, I think you're thinking about it on far too deep of a level, in that the argument's fine. In terms of, will it be practically effective? I think what you got to bear in mind is no one, if you would take a look at the religious population, how many have even touched on any of these details that you're talking about? It's basically none. For them, it's a social club.
Well, it's also misrepresentation. They require that it be. Go ahead.
So it's my experience that the majority of the problem with atheism is essentially a branding one, and it's one for which the battle is essentially fought and won in America, in that the branding of atheism came back with the communist era, where atheism was communism, it was the enemy, it was the Al-Qaeda of its day. Now the thing is that the Cold War ended, how many years ago, 20, 30? There is now an entire generation of new people for which that branding just doesn't exist. Right? So and you take a look at how the youth of today occupy their time, for them, they don't, religion can't compete with Nintendo, right? And so, you know, religion is now just an artifact, and it no longer has the boogeyman associations with it. Now, what we can do is, how shall we say, expedite its demise.
Well, I have to contest you on that, and the person that had his arm up, would you go ahead and come on up and sit with us while I finish this thought out? May I remind you, Thunderfoot, some of you may have noticed he has an English accent, so he might not realize the reality of Houston, Texas, where you are right now. You're saying that religion is an artifact? We're going to take you to a 16,000-seat church not far from here.
You are for... Yeah, it's turned into a very nice downpour.
Yeah.
You are 4 miles away.
That's what the prosperity thing is about. They come here, they give to them, and God, if you trust God, if you put your money, God will give you multiple.
So who does the prosperity church
All I see is the church. Grow the church. And if the fundamental doctrine was true, those are certainly laudable goals. This way. If the fundamental doctrine was true, those are laudable goals. Just like I would want to grow the number of secularists and improve our outreach and improve our social programs and things.
Absolutely.
So it makes sense. Unfortunately, they're peddling nonsense and convincing people by the use of biblical passages.
This is the thing, that the target in this case has to necessarily be people who want money. It's just people who don't have it.
Yeah.
If you had the money,
And there's a lot of verses that they'll use for that. Not only the casting your bread upon the water will return back, and your good works will return to you threefold, sevenfold, tenfold, etc. But also, there's the parable of the man who gave some chunk of his wealth, and a woman who gave her last dollar, and that she is greater because she sacrificed more.
proportionally more.
Yes. And while I agree that a person who has given their last dollar has most certainly made the greater sacrifice, they take that message, which should be about humanity and about our capacity to give and what sacrifice means, and they spin it in a way that it encourages poor people to give money to rich people. And that's just sick.
Yeah. Let's say what motivation so
This can't be right. It's not right.
it's like do it going.
Yeah, this ain't
We're
right.
lost in the parking lot for a megachurch.
I got an email that says it's from God. It says that if the prosperity church rewards my belief, that it will amplify the value of the megachurch. Are you calling God a liar? Really?
I'd like to know what a prosperity gospel is.
Oh, so it basically says give the church your money and you'll become rich.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the seed...
I'm an atheist, and I'm out.
Here you go, right. So since I've given God $1 million after I die, I get half of that back off the church now.
Sounds fair.
If the
The trouble is,
prosperity,
that's asking to be bumped off, isn't it,
if the
really?
prosperity gospel works and God makes me rich, they can give me $500,000 cash in advance on this one.
Yeah.
And then when God rewards my generous gift by giving me $2 million in return, I'll give them their $500,000 back.
Sort of like a Jesus savings and loan.
Yeah. So,
I don't know what to think. I really don't.
You ever seen this guy?
No. Is he wanted?
You know, he's a Dallas preacher at the Potter's House, another megachurch.
Oh, right.
Yeah. T.D. Jakes is really funny to watch. Because he's a gigantic fat man who dances all over stage with emotional zeal.
Lost sheep. You're a wretched sinner. Born a wretched sinner.
It doesn't look like anything specific.
Did you ask about creation?
Yeah, and intelligent design.
Did you actually ask for intelligent design?
And she said, oh yeah, in these, there are stories interspersed, you know, telling about how God created the universe.
Well, maybe these Baptists aren't creationists. I don't know.
She's not like it.
Let's go find out.
I asked the lady to show me something for the children that would teach them about creation. And well, here you know, stories with.
Yeah, there didn't seem to be any actual creationism or intelligent design books.
She responded. She knew what intelligent design was, and she
knew.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
The rose by an angel.
A lot of people.
I think we have to go that way in town. I don't know if there's a rose. If we let out the service, we go that way down.
Just realised my jacket was hanging wide open.
Is the service over?
The whole time you were talking to that woman, I was holding the camera just like this. Breaking out.
$5 cameras there for their DVD sets.
What's the smoke? What is the smoke?
The smoke?
This is...
Yeah. Oh no, I know what it is. It's humidifiers. Yeah, the AC or heat all the water out of here. At least I assume that's what it is. It might just be smoke for effect.
And then we have the Garden of Eden rock layout. 16,000 seats.
16,000.
Just amazing.
So, Joel did 2 services today, and then there's a Spanish-speaking service, and they're roughly, we're estimating around 7,000 each, so they're half capacity.
Yeah.
For this place, we got 21,000 a day.
Yeah.
And that's just on one day. And we understand they do some kind of services on Saturdays. They also do a Wednesday thing traditionally, and a Friday thing as well.
Yes.
So a lot of these people are in this church 4 times a week. And we're talking about filling a 5,500
I actually
seat
got the
stadium.
Spanish program instead of the English one.
I wonder if the the funding is purely through tithing, or whether, I'd love to know the breakdown of whether.
There's offering envelopes behind every seat. There's places outside to deposit them.
But there's presumably also tithing, isn't
I'm
there?
sure.
I mean, you wouldn't pass up on.
Take one.
Yeah, big donors and whatever.
So I
I'm
send
actually
them a
going to
real
head back out
offering.
to the information area and see if I can get one of these in English.
Absolutely.
Grab
Like the cat sends a nice offering.
Just grab a couple more of those.
So there's offering envelopes for cash, and there's offering envelopes for check.
You feel saved yet?
You might want to get an American flag. Jesus is a patriot.
Yes, and an American. Like a Texas governor once said, if English is good enough for Jesus, it's good enough for the students of Texas.
I wonder how much you have to donate to get into the box seat.
Yeah, I know. It's
They
just
probably serve some food
the
up there.
building is bigger than when you look closely, and it's like this would put a Broadway theatre to shame.
Oh yeah. No, this is. There's no shortage of money here.
Yes.
No.
Did you see the upper balcony?
Yeah, I know. I was looking up there. There's not just one, but 2.
It's mezzanine.
There's 2 upper balconies.
Gargantuan venue. Thunder, you should have brought your airplane.
I know. It'd be easy to fly around the hotel. Yeah, there's its humidifiers, I'm sure.
Yeah. Man, it would be wonderful to be here for a service in English. At the same time, horrific.
And then we can each stand up and ask a question.
You think we get questions?
Would you stop me there for a second, Richard?
Think about the whole mindset of a place like this. They are not set up for people with questions.
No,
that's the whole thing. Right? The whole idea of church is the information you're told what to believe. You're instructed what to believe.
So you fill a button in each one of these seats, and whatever comes from that podium, they buy it without question. How sad is that?
Very profitable.
As I said in one of my videos, when the guy says he states as fact all these things that he might have just pulled out of his ass, and we got 15,000 people here that don't bother to ask, how do you know that?
Yeah. And this is,
Matt,
Find something in English?
What?
we're over here talking. Got an opinion?
It's a nice big church. It's really cool.
comfy pews.
I love the
Wide-
ceilings. Of course,
wide-
there's
wide
comfy
pews.
pews.
Copious donation envelopes. I
Yeah.
think they really care for you.
Well,
now.
it costs. The one thing we can talk about all day long is how much money they make and everything else. But you got to think about what does it cost just to run this on a Sunday?
Yeah.
All the electricity, all the cleanup crew,
This place is dripping
the
with
sound
money.
engineers, the security guards.
Yeah, no,
people checking
there are
those.
significant running costs, I have no doubt. The building itself is...
Well, to say nothing of all
The
the
average operating budget, or I have a friend who told me that the operating budget of his megachurch was $250,000 a Sunday.
Yeah.
That's the budget. So you got to be drawn in more than that.
I would guess that you walk around the gift shop, I don't think they even care how much.
So in
it
order
costs.
to make
They're
a-
playing how much money. It's top of the range everything.
So in order to make a profit, they have to bring in $250,000 a day. And while they're doing all that to fund this, they're also occasionally suggesting that they might be a charitable organization.
Wow.
While
I want to make sure that we're fair. If the operating costs are $250,000, you have to bring in $250,000
Well, you go,
to cover the operating costs.
Otherwise, it's not a very prosperity.
And so, if you bring in $500,000, then the $250,000 profit. We needed to consider how the profit is spent. not what the operating costs are. Because you could say, oh, you just wasted $250,000 on operating costs. No, that $250,000 in operating costs is what it takes to get $250,000 in actual donation.
And so, of course, it would have to be substantially more than that for them to risk this kind of investment. So we have to figure, what, twice?
No,
all you really have to do is look at the house that Joel lives in.
I would guess this place pulls in 4-10 times its running costs or something.
I would bet. I have no idea, but all you have to do is look at Joel's house.
In one of the other mega churches, Creflo Dollar says he earns $80 million per year. That's him personally.
Right. So this is now more the legal. So this makes Ray Comfort look like an absolute small fry chump change. He's got a 4 million turnover. He's not got a mega church, and what's more, he does this really weird thing where he actually tries to engage with non-believers. This is just preaching to the converted.
Yes.
Although they have a huge television ministry and they sell tons of DVDs, and then they have we were at their gift shop and their book shop earlier. I'm going to go see if I can get a program in English because I picked up the Spanish one.
Yeah.
Yes, go get a program. I guess we're going to go do some shopping and then we're going to flock out of here.
Yeah,
let's get the flock out of here. I like that. That's cool.